And good evening, everyone, and welcome into the UFC Fight Cards podcast presented by Orange Fire Media. I'm your host, Russ Renault. I want to thank you again for joining us here on this Sunday evening. Hope you've all had a great weekend and appreciate you coming in and hanging out for a little while here to open some cards and talk about the UFC. If you're just joining us for the first time, this is week 12 of our show. And what we do on the show is we talk about last night's UFC event, and then we get into a box of hobby cards from Panini, which has the official licensing from the UFC, the only trading card licensed out there for the UFC. And so what we have tonight, we have a box of 22 Optic, and you see on the right there that next week we'll be opening that box of Prism, and that'll be our last 22 product of the year because we're awaiting that 23 Prism coming out in just a couple of weeks, and we'll talk about that later on in the show. So we get into all the latest news and just talk about what's going on in the fight game in the UFC. So you can reach me anywhere on the show. If there's anything that you're interested in that you want to buy, you can reach me at russ@orange-fire.com or on social media at FightCardsRuss is my Twitter handle, or at OrangeFireMedia. Either one will work. I'll see them both, and you can just get in touch with me. If there's anything on here that you see, say, hey, man, I want that. And just reach out to me and let me know. And you can see there in the chat, if you're watching, I appreciate you joining in. Chat's a great thing to tell me just your first name and the fighters you collect, and I'll keep those in mind as I go along. And also, if you have any questions, go ahead and post one in the chat. It can be about anything, card-related, UFC-related. Let's try to keep it on those topics. But, you know, we'll open up the discussion. This is your show as much as it is mine. So what we'll also get into tonight is we'll take a look back at some of our biggest hits that we've had here on the show, all the stuff that I have available still, and then we'll talk about our fighter giveaways as well. So that's pretty exciting. When we get to 100 subscribers, we're going to give away 7 fighter lots, and they keep growing every week, and they're pretty big, and we'll get into those in just a little bit. But first, let's talk about what happened last night in Kansas City. So we had a big fight night event, one of the better cards you could probably find for a fight night, because the main event could have been a co-main at any pay-per-view, and it delivered. So we had the number 2 lightweight contender, Max Holloway, the former champion, taking on number 4 Arnold Allen, coming in on a 10-fight win streak, undefeated in the UFC. And Max blessed Holloway, getting it done with a unanimous decision after 5 rounds, and what a great fight. Both fighters just put on a show, and a really technical fight, just right up Max Holloway's alley. I don't think there was a single takedown in the whole fight as they just went at it. And Arnold Allen stood his ground, held his own, but in the end, just the veteran Max Holloway, too much for Arnold Allen. So going forward, what that means, Dana White even said, who knows, kind of avoided the topic as far as Max Holloway went, because, being 0-3 against Alex Volkanovski, that you don't see Max Holloway getting that 4th chance to fight Volk. So he's kind of got to wait and see what happens. I mean, the best thing that could happen for Max Holloway is for Yair Rodriguez to take that title from Volk, and obviously Holloway would probably be first in line at that shot. But if Volk holds on to that title, then who knows what will happen after that. As far as Arnold Allen goes, I was reading a little bit today. I think probably the best thing for him is probably getting Brian Ortega coming back off that injury suffered against Yair Rodriguez when his shoulder came out. Yair Rodriguez went on to claim the interim title against Josh Emmett. So you could see Arnold Allen taking on Brian Ortega, and when Ortega is ready to come back. So it'd be a good fight to make, and it was a great main event to close out a pretty good evening. So in the co-main event, we had Edson Barboza against Billy Quarantillo, and Edson Barboza, man, still getting it done. Knockout in the first round. Billy Q was looking pretty good, pressing up against Barboza, and then just dropped his head, and Barboza landed the knee on the way in, and lights were out. So Barboza still showing that he's somebody to deal with in that featherweight division. So he's one to look out for as well. Wants to keep going, keep doing it. I think I said lightweight division. I was thinking of Volk taking on Islam. So obviously Holloway and Allen in the featherweight division. So also we had in the light heavyweight matchup, Azamat Mirzakhanov defeating Dustin Jacoby. That was the top 15 matchup. And Mirzakhanov, he really looked good. Getting it done against Jacoby. Almost put him out a couple of times. Got the unanimous decision. Anything else of note last night? Ayan Kutalaba defeating Tanner Bozier with a knockout in the first round. Saw a good knockout from Zach Cummings and Ed Herman. And that's the cool thing about the Fight Night events is that, we're coming off of UFC 287, saw a lot of decisions, a lot of fights go the distance, but Fight Nights usually deliver the fireworks and the knockouts. So had a pretty good number last night. Also do want to point out one more important fight in the flyweight division because it was a top 5 matchup. Brandon Royval against Mateus Nicolau, and Royval getting that knockout in the first round. That was an exciting knockout, and so we'll see how that plays out for Royval with a title bout coming up with Moreno and Pantoja. He could factor into that depending on which way that goes. So we'll talk about those also coming down the line, because I think that's probably all the highlights that we saw from the fight night last night. So I don't want to spend too much time going into the fights because, like I've said every time on the show, I'm not a person who's going to sit here and break down fights because there's a lot of great UFC podcasts with current and former fighters and former champions who put on a great podcast and break down fights a lot longer than I'm going to. I'm not going to break them down technically because that's just not my forte. My expertise as far as UFC goes is trading cards, and so that's what I'm going to stick to. But I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the fights a little bit here at the beginning of the show every week. So we look ahead to, I'll hit the highlights on the schedule coming up. So Fight Night next week, also a great main event. Looking forward to it. The rest of the card, it's okay. Just not as good as last night, I don't think. This one's going to be from the Apex in Las Vegas, and you've got the number 3 heavyweight Sergey Pavlovich taking on the number 4 heavyweight Curtis Blades. And I looked at the betting odds today, and this is just for entertainment purposes only, not a betting show. But Curtis Blades opening up as a favorite, and I kind of like Pavlovich with those odds. So I think Pavlovich is a lot to handle, a lot to deal with at this point, just from what I've seen in his last couple of fights. He's a beast right now, and I don't know that Blades has enough to handle that. So looking forward to that next weekend. Co-main event, Song Yadong, Ricky Simone in the bantamweight division. And then we look ahead to the next Fight Night event, also from the Apex on April 29th. And the main event was lost this week. So Renato Moicano, Arman Tsarukyan, that is off. That is not the main event anymore. Moicano with an injury. So let's see what UFC comes up with as a replacement for that fight. Because, that really puts a damper on that card, without Tsarukyan and Moicano on that one. I was looking forward to that one. I've said it before. Probably going to get sick of me saying it. Haley Cowan and Baylor Bear making her UFC debut against Jamie Lynn Horth in the women's bantamweight division. I went to Baylor, so obviously, my heart's with Haley Cowan Brennan, and hoping for her to get that win. She's had 2 fights canceled so far this spring and finally getting a third crack at it in Vegas. So then we look ahead to UFC 288 May 6th in Newark, and lost a co-main event in that one. But you got the main event in the bantamweight division with Aljamain Sterling, the champion, taking on former champion Henry Cejudo. So unfortunately lost the co-main event with Charles Oliveira and Beneil Dariush in a lightweight matchup. That was going to be a lot of fun. But still a good card. See if they can come up with something to replace that great co-main event that we were looking forward to. And then you look at Fight Night on May 13th in Charlotte. Jairzinho Rozenstruik against Jalton Almeida. Heavyweight matchup, top 15 matchup. That one became the new main event last week. And then with Anthony Smith and Johnny Walker, light heavyweight, number 5 and number 7, going at it in the co-main. And also Ian Gary, Daniel Rodriguez, welterweight fight. That's one to look forward to. And a lot of people are probably looking forward to Mackenzie Dern getting back into action against Angela Hill. in a women's strawweight matchup. So that's a pretty good fight night card right there. Also coming up June 3rd, Kaikara France, Amir Albazi featherweight matchup. Also on that card, a site yet to be determined. Misha Tate taking on Mayra Bueno Silva, women's bantamweight. And we just got this last week that UFC 289 will be June 10th in Vancouver. And that'll be Amanda Nunes and Juliana Pena for the third time for the women's bantamweight title. And then fight night June 17th, yet to be determined site, Josh Emmett and Ilia Topuria, a featherweight matchup. And as we look down and we look towards International Fight Week, UFC 290, July 8th in Las Vegas. So we're looking forward to having John Jones and Stipe Miocic for the heavyweight title there, but that looks like that's going to be pushed back further on towards the end of the year. John Jones coming out on social media saying that he would like for that to be in Madison Square Garden, so that would be December before we'd see that matchup. So we'll see what happens there, but you're looking at an Alexander Volkanovski, Yair Rodriguez for the featherweight title to unify the belts in that one. The only one that's official right now on that card, well, there's two official fights, but the co-main event announced this week, Brandon Moreno against Alexander Pantoja for the flyweight title. So Pantoja has a win over Moreno. Moreno getting that title back from Figueiredo a couple of months ago. So looking forward to that one. And then the other one that is going to happen on that card, one that everybody in the hobby is going to be looking forward to, is Bo Nickel against Tresean Gore in the middleweight division. So UFC 290, see what happens there. Other things that may be coming up that have been rumored this summer, Tom Aspinall making his return from an injury against Marcin Tybura in the heavyweight division. Maybe Cody Garbrandt, Dominic Cruz too. Heard a little bit of rumor of that one. Also, UFC 294 in Abu Dhabi. That's been confirmed October 22nd, but no main event confirmed. But there is rumor that Khamzat Chimaev and Paulo Costa will be on that card. So we'll see if that, in fact, does happen. So that is our rundown of the fights that are coming up for the UFC and our recap from Fight Night in Kansas City last night. Again, I'm Russ Renaud, and thanks for joining us here on the Fight Cards podcast. And as you see in that chat, if you're watching, let me know that you're on there. Give me your first name, which fighters you collect, and also any questions that you may have. And again, we'll get into opening cards here in just a second. So if you see anything you like, email is russ@orange-fire.com. Twitter handle is @FightCardsRuss or @OrangeFireMedia. You can also find me on Facebook, Russ Renaud, or Orange Fire Media. Either one will work. So we do have a segment that we do every week here on the show. And we'll get that out of the way first. And I have changed it up a little bit more this week. Top 3 stays the same, but 4 and 5 are different. So coming off of last week, I'm going to go number 5. We're going to go Israel Adesanya, getting that middleweight title back. I think that's going to vault him into the top 5. So this is not pound for pound rankings. This is who is hot in the hobby, who people are collecting right now. So we're going to go Izzy at number 5. Number 4, we're going to go Alexander Volkanovski, just coming off that great showing against Islam that Volk, I think, has put him up there. And I don't have any trouble getting rid of Alexander Volkanovski cards. Same kind of goes with Izzy. Islam just, getting knocked out of that top 5, but he's definitely number 6 right now until that new product comes out. So number 3, unchanged, Sugar Sean O'Malley. Number 2, Khamzat Chimaev. And number 1 for the last 5 or 6 weeks or so, Shavkat Rakhmonov. And, I think that's pretty solid that those are the fighters that people are collecting. People are paying a lot of money for in a break. So that's our top 5. Rakhmonov, Chimaev, O'Malley, Volkanovski, and Adesanya. So we're looking forward to the release of the 2023 Panini Prism UFC product, first product of the year. So that is set to come out on April 28th. There is first off the line comes out on the 20th. So be looking forward to that. So that's just 4 days away. So if you've got a little bit of change in your pocket, check out first off the line. You'll get a couple of extra goodies in that box. You pay a little bit more for it, but maybe it's worth it, maybe it's not. But Hobby Box is coming out on April 28th, about $300 a box. Looks like 12 cards per pack, 12 packs in the box. On average, 2 autos, 22 parallels, and 12 inserts. Also, there's an undercard product that comes out on May 10th, about $200. What I've seen, maybe a little bit less. 9 cards per pack, 10 packs. On average, 1 auto, 18 inserts or parallels, and 1 base variation. So that 1 auto is important because usually those secondary products, those retail products, they don't include an autograph. There's no guaranteed autograph in there. So that's a product to look at, that similar to that H2 in Select. So I do want to get in, before we get into this box of Optic, and let you know that's what we're opening tonight. And then next week, we're going to be opening this box of Prism. So this is a 2022 Prism before the 2023 product comes out. So hopefully we'll have the 23 on the April 30th show. That's a tight turnaround, so I don't know if I'll have that or not. If I don't, and we're not going to open a hobby box that night, what we'll do is we'll go into the lot box that I have, and I'll show you all the best lots that I have available. So I'll show you a few of the ones that I have right now. Some of the highlights of the fighters that I have. Not the whole lot, but I'll get into more if we do indeed, have to break into that lot box before the Prism comes out. But I do plan on getting a lot of Prism to open here on the show. So we'll get that Prism out of the way so I can show you some other things. And let's get this Optic set to the side so we can get into that here in a second. But I do want to let you know that we do have a giveaway for our subscribers coming up, probably when we reach 100 or so, and I'm going to be giving away 7 fighter lots. And you can see this stack of John Jones here. It's about 20 cards now. I think it's over 20. But every one of these is going to include a numbered card. So the only way to win these is to subscribe. So please hit that button. Please leave us a review if you can. And if you're listening to audio only, I kind of forget about this sometimes, don't mean to, because I do upload the audio right after the show. And we're on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and Audible, all the places that you get your favorite podcasts. That if you happen to be listening, that if you hear something, because I do tell every card that's in every pack, if you hear something that you want and you want to go back and look at it on YouTube later, that, just drop me a message somewhere, either on email or on social media. Just send me a PM and we'll make it happen. But you have to subscribe to be entered into the giveaways. And so we're going to give away these 7 fighter lots, and John Jones is the big one. So you see there's a numbered card right there. There's also, these mix from what we've opened here recently. So I love these from the 2020 product, the old 1985 Topps baseball look to those. And you can see there's just a lot of different things in here. A lot of John Jones. See, there's some Prisms just thrown in. But everything of John Jones, so big lot there. Got 2 women's lots. The Holly Holm is pretty big. And that one's of 99. That Elite there on the top. Just see the mix of products. Just a lot of stuff thrown in there. Some 2015 of Holly Holm thrown in. Because we've opened some 2015 Topps Chronicles on there. And then we'll go with Misha Tate. Origins red on there on top. And also there's 2 numbered Misha Tate cards. This green from the 2015 product, numbered out of 288. So working on good Misha Tate lot there. Some 2015s thrown in. These are all former champions, title contenders, because you got Jan Blachowicz on there, numbered to 99. A couple of different ones of him. Got some Prism from last year thrown in. We'll work down towards the end here on the left. Robert Whitaker. This one's numbered. I think this is 199. But some good Robert Whitaker. Good mix of Robert Whitaker in there. Go this way now. So Glover Teixeira with the red prism as your numbered card, a stargazing prism thrown in there, then a 2015 Glover. Then our final giveaway, Justin Gaethje. Got another prism thrown in there as well. A lot of good looking Chronicles. It's in 2020. So those are our giveaways. We're going to give all those away. We've got to reach 100 subscribers first. So please hit that subscribe button. Let everybody you know that might be interested in this podcast, let them know that we're here. This podcast is just going to get better and better. No, it's just me. It's just a one-man show right now, but we're looking to change that. We're looking to make this bigger and better all the time, and that's going to happen here in the near future. Just going to improve. We're going to have graphics and better audio and better visuals for you coming up. Just got to be able to build this up and get some help here, so it's not just me all the time. Because you can imagine that it's pretty good task to keep the show going, keep talking, and keep opening cards. So I do want to tell you about some of the hits that we've had here on the show, and this is last week's big one. Unfortunately, this one's already spoken for, so this one is not available, but I do want to tell you about just some of this, monster stuff that we've been hitting here on the show. This has been great. This Habib Tools of the Trade Auto 14/49. This was from 2021 Chronicles, so just a really nice looking card, and going to make a friend of mine really happy with this. So looking forward to getting that in his hands. Also want to tell you that the lowest number, well, it's not actually the lowest number card, but I did get rid of that also as well. See, we've already sold some things here on the show. This is the second lowest numbered card. We hit a 1/1 printing plate on Kaikar France out of the 2020 tops, and so that one was sold pretty quick. Somebody had another one of the printing plates, and we were able to get that in his hands pretty quick, and hopefully this made him very happy. So that is the lowest number. That's the only 1/1 that we've hit here so far, and hopefully we have another one coming up out of Prism. But this is the first low number card that we pulled. Was this Henry Cejudo walkout pants, jumbo memorabilia, part of the UFC logo in there. Number 3 of 4 out of Immaculate. Also out of Immaculate, Yuri Prochazka red. Number 25 have Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Number 99 memorabilia autograph. Pulled out a Valentina Shevchenko auto. Also with the Optic with the pink Velocity, number 79. And a Rose Namajunas auto. It's just a base, but just showing you we pulled a lot of autos. The other autograph that we had was Michael Chandler. See what we get out of tonight's box. Just to let you know some of the other products that I have. This one's not all of these were pulled on the show, but I do have a pretty good Stipe Miocic lot if you collect Stipe. I've been holding on to this one for a while. This is a bookend out of Chronicles, Crown Royale, autograph memorabilia. Bookend 49 out of 49. We've got the purple numbered contenders out of Optic, and that one's numbered out of 49. This one's numbered this Elite 199, and this one out of the 2015 product. This one is numbered to 188. Got a disco prism and a silver prism. The disco and the silver aren't worth as much, but those are 4 numbered Stipe cards. Love to get those in somebody's hands because I've been doing pretty well on Stipe this year. I've pulled a lot of good Stipe Miocic cards. So let me get these tucked away so I've got some room to work here, and we'll get into this box of Optic real quick. Like I said, just give me a second. Like I said, next week will be a exciting show with another box of Prism. Get another box of 22 in before 23 comes out. That should be a pretty fun show next week. All right. So then the next thing we got to do is get these gloves on. You know, handle the other cards, but those were already in sleeves, and want to take care of everybody's cards as much as we can. So tonight we got the box of 2022 Optic. Not my favorite product. I mean, I still like it, but it doesn't have as much good stuff as the Select and the Prism. I really like Select this year. I think everybody else did too. I'm not, you know, not making any big, you know, revelations there. But I did like some of the products out of Chronicles as well. I really like the Origins this year. So what I decided to do with Origins is I actually decided to try to get all of those. And let me just give me a second. All right, here we go. So I decided to get all of the Origins from 21 and 22 out of Chronicles, and so I think I've got most of those on the way now. I just like the way they look, so not something that it's going to be really hard to get. So why not just go ahead and try to get a base set. Maybe we can make that a background here on the show at some point. So here we go, 4 cards per pack in these hobby boxes. Here is pack number 1. Merab Dvalishvili, Rafael dos Anjos, Carla Esparza, and Giga Chikazi. That's numbered to 49. I think that's the first numbered card I've pulled of him. So there we go. There's first number card. Again, I always apologize for the wrappers, but it's just what you do with being close to the mic. But Manu Nunes, Hamzat Chimaev. There is the base, Giga. And Uriah Faber, also known as. Like I said, as we're going through here, let me know who you're looking for. Give yourself some good luck if you put it in the chat. Kaikar France, Tyler Santos, D-Rod, rated rookie, and Shogun Hua, silver prism. Yuri Prochazka, Alexander Pantoja, Dustin Poirier, and a George St. Pierre, My House. Big winner last night, Max Holloway, Dominic Cruz, Arnold Allen. Hey, what's the chance of that? Arnold Allen, Max Holloway in the same pack. And a Kamaru Usman, My House. Got a bunch of Kamaru cards. I finally pulled a numbered card last week. Got a huge lot. I think it's 30 cards of Kamaru if you're interested. Tai Tuivasa, TJ Dillashaw, Valentina Shevchenko, and a Hamzat Chimaev stargazing Silver Prism. Justin Gaethje, another one we'll add to the giveaway. Max Griffin, rated rookie, and Cyril Gahn, Silver Prism. Marina Rodriguez, Askar Askarov, Alexa Grasso, and Valentina Shevchenko Stargazing. I'm going to have to get the large gloves next time. These are kind of hard to open with. Okay, Tony Ferguson, Tito Ortiz, John Jones, another one to add to that John Jones lot, and Bryce Mitchell Dominators. Still looking for our one auto. Hopefully we don't get shut out. Those are always on average, so you never know. Nate Diaz, Derek Lewis, Rafael Fazeev, and Curtis Blades Silver Prism. Brendan Moreno, Lauren Murphy, Alexander Volkanovsky, and a Patty Pimblett Stargazing. I also have some cards listed on eBay. If you go to Orange Fire Lots of Lots on eBay, there's a lot of rookies that have been put up today. Just starting off slow on those. Got some bigger stuff coming up. Gilbert Burns, Bryce Mitchell, Sean Brady, and Ketlin Vieira, Silver Prism. Just one numbered card so far. We'll go back through the hits here at the end. Sean O'Malley, Habib Nurmagomedov, Holly Holm, and Brandon Moreno Stargazing. Magomed Ankalaev, Calvin Cater, Jared Cannonier, and Davison Figueiredo Dominators. We go Alexander Rakic, Alex Perez, Islam Makachev, and Amanda Nunes Dominators. Down to 4 packs. Still looking for an auto. Go Brock Lesnar, Cyril Gahn, Laura Sanko, Voices of the Octagon, and Mark Coleman Silver Prism. Marco Sullivan, you can have that one too, buddy. I'm gonna be careful I don't show that auto off too early. Mark Coleman, Ketlin Vieira, Shogun Hua, and Charles Dubronx Oliveira, also known as. Go Stephen Thompson, Vicente Luque, and there we go, another Stipe auto. I've pulled so mmame Stipes this year. And this one numbered to 25, number 7 of 25. That is crazy. 5 Stipe numbered cards that I have in this lot right now. 2 of them autographed, and there were more. When I opened the 22 product, I had more Stipe. I had at least one other auto, and a couple of other numbered cards. I mean, we've got a bonus one here. Valentina Shevchenko red. So that makes 2 Valentina numbered cards that I have. Showed you the pink velocity earlier. Got a base auto, but there's nothing base about a Valentina Shevchenko auto. It's such a good looking signature and such a good card to have. So that was a nice pack there. We'll take that one all day. Just need to find the right Stipe fan. Wrapping them up. There we go. You can have that one too. Stipe Miocic, Corey Sandhagen, Glover Teixeira. We can add that one to our lot. And a Tai Tuivasa Bam Bam, also known as. We pulled the Tai Tuivasa memorabilia card, numbered to 99 out of Immaculate. And here's our last pack of Optic for the night. Already pulled the good stuff, I guess. Curtis Blades, Anderson Silva, Jessica Andrade, and Tito Ortiz, My House. So we got three hits out of that one. So let's go back through them. Valentina Shevchenko red out of 199. Giga Chikazi out of 49. And there's the big one, Stipe Miocic. Not just your base optograph. It was a number to 25. 7 of 25 on the Stipe. So I've got 5 numbered Stipe cards. 2 of those are autographs. If anybody's interested in those, you can reach me at russ@orange-fire.com. That's my email address. You can reach me on social media. at Fight Cards Russ or at Orange Fire Media, either one. On Facebook, Russ Renault, Reneau, or at Orange Fire Media. So I just want to thank everybody again for joining us here on the 12th show, and that we do every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Central, right here on YouTube. And we open a hobby box every week. We try to anyway, because we've got the box of Prism coming up next week. And then after that, we're hoping to have some 23 Prism to open. If we don't get that in time, then we'll go through the lots that I have. And I'll just show you just all the cards that I put together, all the numbered cards, all the hits, all the autos. Got a bunch of those that I'm looking to put in your hands. And like I said, everything here for the first year of the show, everything that I sell on the show is going to be put back into the show by buying more 23 products from Panini. So everything that I get this year is going to be put back into what you see here. It's going to be made back available to you, and we'll just see where we go from here. Just really appreciate everyone's support coming back every week, and we just hope that this gets better and better every time, and just love hearing from everybody. And I really hope that you enjoyed the show. And just as always, thanks for dropping by, and just have a great week. And we just thank you for starting off your week here, and just look forward to everything going on this week. And be safe out there. Have a good one. And we'll see you again here next week right here on the UFC Fight Cards podcast presented by Orange Fire Media. I'm Russ Renault. Good night, everybody, and we'll see you next week.